welcome to this episode of Unschool Me. I'm Jessica Heilman, and on today's episode, we have a good friend from a long time, Scott Kadesh, with us. He's had much exposure to television and movies. What's some of the movies that you've been in?
Some of the movies and shows, let's see, I was in Jurassic Park 3. I've been in TV shows, Friends, that was a fun set to be on. Been on My Name is Earl, a show.
I love that show.
Yeah,
I wish it would.
yeah,
I mean, Jason Lee went off to become like, Jason Lee, but I still watch My Name is Earl. I thought it was good. and we'd all watch Friends, right?
Yeah, everybody's seen Friends. It's a great.
They'd stop by the studio, and we thought that it'd be really fun because Scott is so well traveled, and Jeffrey has such a knowledge of food that we would talk about some of the most exotic favorite foods, the most exotic foods that we've ever eaten in our travels and our experiences. And so Jeffrey's got a couple that he'd like to talk about, but what I'd really like to hear about is your experiences, Scott, as you've been traveling around. What are some of the craziest things that you've eaten? Can you unschool us on what is edible and not edible?
Well, you know what? I've tried so many things. I'll just do a quick list. I've had alligator. I've had horse, I've had ostrich, snake, buffalo, just some unique types of foods. And they all taste like chicken.
They all taste like chicken. What about you, Jeffrey? What are some of I know that you've been to, you've traveled some across the United States.
I've been to New York, been to the South. I've had a lot of Southern food. It's good.
Yeah, what's the most exotic food that you think that you've tried?
I had alligator, I had octopus, I had rabbit.
You're far away. Come closer.
Yeah, come on in.
Come on in.
There you go.
in. Join the party.
Talk about the rabbit.
Join the food party.
Yeah.
Talk about rabbit. How was it prepared?
What does it taste like?
It was prepared like you would, like it was whole, right?
With carrots?
I don't know what it was served with, but for the most part,
Did it have a carrot in its mouth?
No. For the most part, it was pretty gamey. It was like chicken, but a little meatier.
Let's see, what have I had? We had it in one of the Christmas parties my parents had growing up. They ordered some exotic sausages, and so it was in sausage form, which probably if you're going to try anything exotic, you should probably try it in sausage form because it makes it a lot more palatable. But I think that we had kangaroo and
I've had that. That's
snake
good.
and ostrich, of course, yeah. And there's that great place in Catalina that has the buffalo burgers.
Oh, yes,
right there by the casino point.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So I really like the buffalo burger. I think out of all the meats, it's that real thick patty, and it makes a great burger. But so I want to hear more about this horse that you tried. I heard you mention that. Was it a steak? Was it like a burger? Or
it was
sausage?
It looked like a steak. It was a little more, I guess you can say, gamey. It didn't have. It tasted like a steak. It tastes like a New York steak, but it had a little bit of a unique flavor to it. A little more gamey. It was prepared perfectly with. It had a au jus, if you will. It was just prepared perfectly, and
that's something I don't know that I would have the guts to try.
It wasn't
but,
scary
because it's prepared to be food.
It tasted like a cow. I mean, it's similar to cow meat. But
I guess any large animal with that much muscle on it probably has a certain flavor to it. Jeffrey, what'd you think about gator? I remember because we were traveling.
It was good too.
What the viewers might not realize is that this how many of us were there? The 8 of us piled up into a van, and we drove from San Francisco to Florida, all the way over there, and then we even actually went all the way down to Miami when we were over there. So we did that and back, and we ate food all along the way, and we stopped in New Orleans, and we ate at what was the name of the beignet place? That's that famous beignet place on the corner. I think I hear the sound of the question car. Can you please help us get the question car so we can do a little improv question? Go ahead, push it. Ooh, there's our helper.
There you go. Put your face in there. Let's
Jeffrey,
see your
you
face.
want to get the question?
Hello.
Jeffrey,
That's
what's
good.
the question that we're supposed to answer today?
Today's question comes from @Delaney and John.
How do you manage to how do you manage to find adult time away from the children when you're, say, homeschooling? Like, the question is, how do you stay romantic when you have a family? So the person that wrote into this is a new mom struggling with babies and kids, and like wondering if they're ever going to get time to themselves as adults again. And I know that you and your wife Edith have, you've got schedules where it's like you're crossing paths in the night, and then Jeff works really long hours, and I'm home with the kids all day. And so for Jeff and I, it's been really important. And Jeffrey, these are important lessons for you to be a part of too as you grow up. And this is part of the unschooling process, is Jeffrey gets to learn about life from watching every day. He's not away at school and having to learn some other way. But like, one of the things is we just have to plan date nights. I mean, we have to put it in the calendar that we're going to take time for ourselves as a couple. And maybe the new movie, like what's new, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, well, it won't be new by then, by the time this airs, but like there's movies that are coming out, and we'll make a plan to, I don't know what you and Edith do, but we'll make a plan to take a weekend away, or we'll make a plan to get babysit. It definitely takes more planning. Yes.
With 6 kids, I think it does take a bit.
With one kid, it takes planning, especially with your schedules that cross.
Yeah, we just have to definitely set a time. If not, we just we would fight sometimes if we didn't get our date night or parent time. Everybody needs that. All adults need their
And I think it's also important to recognize that the kids need breaks from parents too every now and again. Because I remember when they were little, and I would feel guilty leaving them behind, and then I think a friend pulled me aside and was just like, the kids there's like an anxiety that happens when you spend too much time together, especially when we're all together all the time. And I know it's time for Jeff and I to go get coffee together or go have a date night together. When the kids are like, "So, Mom, Dad, when you gonna be leaving? Are you guys got any coffee plan coming up?" Because they just want to hang out and watch TV and not feel like Mom and Dad are like looming over them every second of the day. So it is important, I think, just as much for them and for us to kind of, to go for an hour or two and then come back. And we've always, even though we do have some family in town, we've always done our, had that babysitter list and done our due diligence to find teenagers in the neighborhood. Now that we have older kids, they can stay home and babysit, but it's just so important to schedule. And so I can honestly say, as far as being romantic while you have a young family, that it's not going to be spontaneous for a while until they all move out, but that's a trade-off, and that if you plan it and you plan it well, then it all comes together and things stay great, Jeffrey. Yeah. So learn that. Learn that for when you have a family one day. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you like and subscribe so you can unschool, learn new things, and we're going to have more guests on our show hopefully in the future. And thanks for tuning in. Thanks for unlearning with us. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Particularly fond of this white noise app in the App Store for